Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we're returning to the world of Poppy Playtime one last time to wrap up our coverage of Chapter 1. Now this game has kind of been a smash hit on the channel, and to be quite honest, across all of YouTube. I've already done a playthrough of the game, I've done a theory video on it, and I've looked at all the different tapes. So basically what we're going to do in this video is just play through it one more time, and I'm going to wrap up all of my thoughts, looking at both the tapes, my theories for the game, and everything ahead of Chapter 2. So in this video, we're just going to go through the chapter again. It's going to be like a casual sort of story explain video as we play through it. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. So at the start it says Chapter 1, a tight squeeze, which is of course a pun because not only does Huggy give us a hug, a squeeze, but we also have to make a tight squeeze through all the events towards the end of the chapter. So it's quite a clever little title there. We have this little bit of story exposition which says, as an ex-employee of Playtime Co, you finally returned to the factory many years after everybody within disappeared. So we are an ex-employee, we used to work at Playtime Company, and everybody else has disappeared mysteriously. That's the information we've got from there. And that is important information as we go forward with this theory video, so let's get started. Now this character we're going to see here, I believe is Elliot Ludwig, the company founder, although we don't know for sure.
You are about to see the most incredible doll ever invented. Her name is Poppy, and she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world. A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers. She is the first doll actually able to have a conversation with a child. Hard to believe?
I wouldn't want that doll.
Just watch.
I would not want that doll, that's all I'm going to say. But this sort of establishes that the company, Playtime Co, is really ahead of other toy companies in terms of their technology.
A real girl, and she talks like one too.
Hi, my name is Poppy. I love you. Can you help me polish my shoes?
Why, of course, Poppy. Just like a real girl, Poppy always wants to look her best.
Perfect. Thank you.
Her hair is sturdy and won't.
But this original Poppy doll I don't think was haunted or anything, it just literally was a normal doll which had really advanced technology within it. So at this point I don't think Playtime Company was doing anything nefarious, they were just making really sort of special and technology advanced dolls.
To see how all of the nation's favorite toys were created, Playtime Co is now offering factory tours.
And then yeah, they offered factory tours for people that wanted to have a look around and see how these dolls were made.
What are you waiting for? Come visit the factory.
This is Poppy's location, of course, where the giant poppy flower mural is. We've got this note, which we'll see in a second, which is from an employee, and the note basically says, everybody thinks the staff disappeared 10 years ago, we're still here, find the flower, and we can see the thing we watched was a vintage Poppy commercial, which is why I think the guy that introduced it is the company founder, Elliot Ludwig. You'll also notice on that note that it is kind of misspelled, like the grammar is pretty bad on it. And I think that's because, as we'll get to later in the video, and as I mentioned in my theory video, that it is not written by a normal adult, it's actually written by a worker who Poppy was channeling her mind through, and the spirit of a child could well be trapped within Poppy's body. Because I think Poppy is controlling everything here, including us, which again, we'll get to later in the video. But for now, guys, we are in the game. This is, of course, the entrance to Playtime Co. It's the sort of lobby area. We've got the security rooms off this way, and then this way we've got the gift shop. First things first, we're going to play this tape. This is from, as you can see, Lair Pierre. It's called Closing, and this tape is basically from the head of security. So let's pick that up, and let's go and play it in the VCR over here. I'll let you listen to this.
Hi. My name is Lair Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at the Playtime Co. Toy Factory. If you're seeing this, then you're trespassing. Yeah, we play this little tape on loop whenever we close the factory for the day. So, trespasser, just to make you aware, while we pride ourselves primarily on our high-quality toys and excellent child care, we also pride ourselves on our security. For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers. So, you've got my warning. It's not too late to turn around. I just hope that you're certain whatever you're doing is worth it.
So there we go, that was Leif Pierre. He is the head of security, as he said, and I think there's some interesting things to take from that tape. First of all, they said they got some really advanced security here in this building, and you know, we can see the little camera over here, but he also says about motion trackers and stuff like that. And this is because the company was trying to guard some really top secret information, and I think that information is about human experimentation. I think when Elliot Ludwig started this company, it was just based around making children happy and being like an advanced toy company. But as time went by, their aspirations outgrew this and they started creating some really dark experiments, trying to further their technology and therefore bringing toys like Huggy Wuggy to life with human souls inside. And from the way Leif is talking, he knows about some of these dark experiments, so he is obviously involved in some of the illegal activities he wouldn't want to see leaking out, because of course, if any of these activities did leak out that the company was involved in, they would be instantly closed, and a lot of people, including Leif, for having knowledge of these experiments, would be going straight to jail. So they really want to make sure that nothing leaks out. Anyway, with that said, guys, we've also got this little poster here, and this character, if you look at the teaser trailer for the game before it came out, we actually see like a living version of this character that's called Bron, the Brontosaurus, of course. This character is going to come to life at some point. It is going to be an enemy character, I think, in the game later on. So, you know, this is another upcoming enemy type I think we're going to see in Chapter 2 or 3. Now this room was really obscure because this puzzle, of course, we have to look at the train to figure out the right combination for the security door, but I actually thought this was the hardest puzzle in the entire game, and it's the first one we sort of encounter, so I do think that this was quite ill thought out by the development team because it's just really obscure for the first puzzle in a game. But there we go, we have to memorize the colors there. We'll go over in a minute and activate them on the keypad in the security room, but first I want to draw your attention to the Boogie Bot, which is another character which could be coming up in a future chapter. And of course, we have the Huggy Wuggy doll themselves, and then we have this other character called Candy Cat. So again, Candy Cat could be a character that we see appearing in chapters 2 and 3 of the game. There we go. We also have this poster here which says Poppy wants to play. It's just a poster of Poppy looking at us, kind of creepy. But this is one of the vintage posters, obviously, at the company which advertised their original creation, Poppy Playtime. Now, the next part, we've got another tape, and this is a tutorial for the grab pack, so let's play that. What I find interesting about the grab pack tutorial is that it's really illustrated how little Playtime Co actually cared about worker safety, because in this very video we see this sequence where an employee head is ripped off by accident by the grab pack. You know, most companies, if something like that could happen, they wouldn't have their employees using this apparatus around other people, but Playtime Co is just like, hey, you know, go for it, it's a useful thing we've made, and they don't really care that, you know, this head ripping can occur. So it just once again goes to show that they put technology ahead of human lives and human well-being. It's a theme we see throughout this first chapter, and it's definitely something to take on board and take notice of there. There we go, that is the tape, guys. It says, what time is it? Playtime Co. So, we now get the grab pack, which I love. I think this is one of the most fun features of this game, one of the most original features of the game. This is obviously the security office where Leif Pierre would sort of spy on people, make sure that nothing bad was going down in the company, that no one was stealing any company secrets. Now we have to hop this little turnstile, and of course our first puzzle with this is pretty simple. We just put our hand on this dial and it's going to open up and allow us access to the inner sanctum, so to speak. And here it says welcome to Playtime Co, and of course we get to see Huggy Wuggy for the first time. And he is quite an iconic character, you know. I think he's got a cool design. He's very Sesame Street looking. And this central area is also really interesting because I think future chapters are going to feed off from this area. Like, I think we'll come back to this at some point. And then this is just a secret area that we never actually get to visit. We also have the cafeteria here. We've also got down here a little bit of information about Huggy Wuggy himself, which I'll read to you guys now. So he was created in 1984, and it says, Playtime Co has designed hundreds of distinct toys, but none connected with people more than that of Huggy Wuggy. Our founder Elliot Ludwig aimed to create a toy which could hug you forever. As is always true, Playtime Co's 4-step process to creating the most lifelike toys was a success. With a bit of string and polyester, our lovable blue pal Huggy was brought to life. Huggy Wuggy has gone on to be Playtime Co's most popular and best-selling toy so far. And if we press this button, we get a little song. It's kind of a little bit creepy, that song. It's a little bit too, joyous for my liking. We've got some Huggy Wuggy toys here, as you can see. You can see him in the box there. You can see on the back it says for toy that hugs you back. So now the next thing to do is to walk over to here and put our hand on this panel. Of course, that just breaks the power there. We can't get through the door. However, Huggy Wuggy offers us a key. Now this is going to tie into a theory of mine, guys, as we go through this chapter 1. I think Huggy's actually helping us out on purpose as we go through under the control of Poppy Playtime. I think Poppy's basically saying to Huggy through her mind connection with him that you need to help this guy get to me because I need him for a more important task. We're an ex-employee, we've been sent the letter, and now we've got this character Huggy Wuggy who seems to try and kill us later on in the chapter, but I don't think he actually is. We'll get to that later. He's now helping us, and I think this is because he's controlled by Poppy. So let's take the key that he's given us. Let's go through the power room door and into here. We're gonna see our first creepy sight, which is of course the blood stains over here. Pretty nasty. I'm gonna turn up the brightness a little bit because it's a bit dark, guys, so hopefully you can see that a little better now. But as you can see, we do have blood stains there and a little model of Bron. Now we've got this other character here. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. The name of this character has been revealed, but I do not remember off the top of my head what she's called, but I 100% guarantee she will appear as an enemy, just like Huggy in another chapter of the game. This sign says, remember, do be kind to others, show up on time, not hide behind doors to scare Lair Pierre. So obviously people didn't like Lair Pierre and he was easily scared. Probably because he knew so many of the company's secrets and he was a bit skittish. When it says don't, stay past 8 PM. So something probably happened past 8 PM here. Perhaps after 8 PM when the normal employees went home, the scientists would conduct some of their darker experiments. And it says misuse company time, tamper with machinery, or enter innovation wing without authorization. So this is obviously the innovation wing where all these human experiments were happening, where people, or creations I should say, like Huggy Wuggy and potentially this character here, were brought to life. Anyway, we need to follow this round. We're gonna see more blood all up this wall and down here. And now if we open this, we get our first puzzle, which is pretty simple. We just run around here and connect up these pylons like this. And there we go. That's powered up the other door. And now Huggy has gone. He's left because, he's gonna try and lead us to the next area. If you all notice throughout this demo, we see Huggy Wuggy and he is leading us to every location. He's always appearing. Like the first thing we see here is his arm, just down there as you can see, guys. So he's showing us exactly where to go under the control of Poppy. We're going to the Make a Friend wing next. Again, we've got the candy cat there, but let's keep going. There's his arm, that's really creepy. We've got the security camera there watching over us. Of course, somebody is watching our every move. Oh, and that scared me. That actually took me by surprise. I forgot that happened. So here we go. We're gonna have a tape we can play here in a minute, which is from another character. But first, we're gonna have to run up here and drop down into the main storeroom. We need to collect up these to power on this grabber to get our other arm, or our other hand, I should say. Now Huggy says remember to take breaks. It seems like the company cared about their employees when you look at it on the face of it. But then it says down here, breaks longer than 10 minutes are not permitted. And that's not really much of a break, especially for people in the dangerous work area, but there we go. So they want to look good on the sort of surface of things, but this company is definitely not keeping their employees' best interests at heart, and we'll see more of that in a minute. So in this area, we basically just need to look around for the other power cells. There's one just here. They always differ. They always mix it up and change the location of these little cells. There we go, we've grabbed that. There's that little bot again, really cute. I hope he helps us out in a future chapter, actually. Like he's like a kind of a cute little companion that goes around with us. And here we find tape number 3, which is taken from a security camera spying on a conversation between employees Avery and Rich. We'll just grab that and we'll play that in a second. You have to go back through this door to play it, so let's just open that door. There we go. That'll do. And now we need to find the other power cells. So where are they? There's one here. I think there's one left to find. Oh, I think it's up there. You can also see the absolute state of this warehouse. Like, work conditions were not good here, as we'll hear when we play the tape in a second. That's the last power cell, so let's move on. And here we go, guys. I'm gonna play this tape and you guys can listen to this and we'll talk about it after.
Rich, where are they keeping the Huggy boxes?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Remember when maintenance left did a sweep of this place?
No.
Exactly. Nobody in this stupid company knows what they're doing. Oh, I swear, I haven't seen a single box in its place since they started flooding the storehouse with orphanage junk.
Right.
I get it. It's a nice program and all, on brand, but it's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't find stupid Huggy boxes.
Rich.
You're right. You're right. It's for the orphans. I just wish there were less boxes. Anything less would be more habitable. Is that even a word? Habitable.
So there we go, that's third recording between warehouse workers Avery and Rich, and you'll notice how Rich is complaining about the cramped work conditions since Playtime Co started filling the warehouse with what he calls orphanage junk, and this seems to be part of a company mission to help children in need, or maybe not, as we'll discuss soon. And you probably also noticed that Avery was trying to say as little as possible because he was very aware of management listening in. In fact, he seems quite afraid about saying anything negative, unlike his co-worker Rich. Next, we're gonna go over here. We get to see Huggy just looking out through that vent. It's really creepy. We're gonna put in all the different power cells here, power this up, and we get to have the second hand now. So we're gonna drop down and grab that. It's also really creepy to see this like doll head just sat there. Just get that out of the way. Here we go, our second hand. Nice, give me that. There we go, we got two hands. We look really, really silly now. I think the silliness is part of the charm of this game though. It's like one of the most goofy horror games I think I've played. Right, onward we go then. This is like the first proper puzzle that we encounter now. It's not too hard to work out what to do. We just put one hand on there to get some power going, and then we go around this thing like that and connect it up to the second conductor. And we get to go all the way to the Make a Friend room now. We're almost meeting Huggy Wuggy. I would say we're about halfway through the chapter now. We're gonna have some stuff falling on us. Some horrible doll heads and toy parts. I would hate that. Look at that. Ugh. No, get them off me. Kill them with fire. Could be worse, could be spiders. And here we go into the main room itself. The Make a Friend room, but the R is kind of misplaced, so it sort of says Make a Fiend, which is kind of interesting. So I'm gonna read this to you guys. This is the Make a Friend machine from 1960. And it talks about Elliot Ludwig once again. It says, our founder, Elliot Ludwig, was a visionary. He set the stage for all of Playtime Co.'s greatest feats. Yet, of all the amazing things that he created, the Make a Friend machine is one of the most creative, impressive, and advanced. It is solely responsible for nearly every Playtime Co. toy sold on the market to this day. All it needs is to be fed the proper parts, and it will then paint, assemble, and do a quality inspection of the toy all on its own. Gone is the need for complex sorting or back-breaking labour. This machine can do all that and more. So there we are. A very good machine that put toys together for kids in seconds. And we're going to get it working ourselves in a moment, but first we're actually going to go over to this and have a look at this poster, which is very important. So it says Playtime Co. fostering happiness, and it says adopt an orphan today. I'm going to read this and then we're going to talk about it. The Playtime Co. Foster and Adoptive Care Initiative strives to create permanency in the lives of orphan children by recruiting adoptive and foster parents within our own organisation. We encourage all Playtime Co. employees to take part in our mission by fostering or adopting an orphan child. Participating employees may be eligible for additional benefits. The initiative helps children not only in the Midwest region, but also orphans around the world. Every child deserves a chance at a new life. So on the face of it, this seems good. You know, it's good for the company image, it's good for the employees, they get additional benefits, you know, like extra pay and stuff for doing it. And, you know, for children that need homes, get homes. So it works for the children, it works for the employees, and it works for the company image. However, this takes a dark turn when you think that we have been seeing hints of human experimentation. We think Huggy Wuggy has the soul of a worker or potentially a child trapped inside them, and I think this, this program has something to do with these experiments. They talk about how they're adopting children from around the world, so a lot of these children wouldn't be tracked once they went to their foster parents, the employees of the company, because they're potentially from countries like Africa, Europe, parts of Europe, China, all over the place, and they wouldn't be tracked in the same way. So once they've gone to the employees at this company, these children could then be passed off to the company and anything could happen to them. They could be experimented on and the employees would be handsomely compensated to keep quiet about it. So it would definitely, need a questionable kind of person to involve themselves in this for money. And as we're going to see in a minute when we play the next tape, Playtime Co. was hiring people who seemed to have a weird way of thinking, like this Stella character who liked the idea of children being able to stay children forever. So if they were trying to hire people with that mindset, it could quite easily be that they had this orphan program going with the specific purpose of getting these children into the company and then turning them into experiments like Huggy Wuggy. So we've got the tape for Stella, so let's go and listen to it in the machine here.
So, Stella, what made you want to work at the Playtime Co. factory?
Playing with toys when I was young was so magical. I could go straight from my bedroom floor to anywhere in the world. It was such a great feeling. And being able to work at a toy factory, somewhere that can provide kids with that same experience, that's a pretty great feeling too. Sometimes though, I really wish I could go back. To being a kid, I mean. And it's weird, because adults are just kids, but older. I don't think anyone ever really feels like an adult, but your body just gets older and older, and then you die. Poof! Human bodies just can't stay young forever. There's things though, like some trees that can stay alive even while being way older than a person. I mean, the oldest people to ever live are still younger than those. So I guess everyone is always young relative to something. Right?
Alright, I think we're getting a little off track.
So there we go, that was Stella being interviewed for a job at this toy factory. What's interesting about Stella's comments there is that she wants to stay young forever. She likes the idea of being a kid forever. So this is obviously evidence as well that potentially workers were being involved in these experiments as well as kids, which is again something that I've always believed in. I think that potentially Stella could even be Poppy Playtime. I'm not sure, but it seems, like they could have found their ideal candidate for Poppy Playtime, someone that could control all the other conduits, which would include the orphan children and stuff like that. So yeah, it might be that Stella was turned into Poppy Playtime. We'll have to wait and see. But there's the second puzzle solved as well. But I do like that all the kind of possibilities this story is putting in front of us. It could be that the orphan children were being used as experiments. It could be it's for workers. And in a minute, we're going to talk about another story aspect, which is resurrection and how potentially we're being resurrected over and over again, as we'll see once we power up this machine and meet Huggy Wuggy for the first time. So there we go. The machine comes on. It's kind of creepy. A bit weird. We're gonna pull all these levers and we're gonna get some toy parts going. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. And we're gonna make ourselves a toy. So yeah, this is obviously the production line because nobody leaves, it says, without a toy. So we need to create a toy and put it in here. So our toy should be coming down about now. There we go. The first machine's doing its magic, putting it together. It's been painted. We have one painted toy now. The second machine, I think, is going to assemble it, and I think the third one does the quality control. So there we go, the parts go inside. It's doing its thing. Doesn't look very happy about it though. And then the final machine, as you can see, is going to do the testing. It's going to scan it, make sure there's no deficiencies in the design of the toy. Looking good so far. Here it comes. One finished toy for us to collect. I like it. So let's go round here and grab our toy. Lovely. Okay, so we're about to meet Huggy Wuggy, and we're going to find that he's not quite so friendly. That's just going to scan the toy. Toy accepted, and here we go. Now, before we meet him, I just want to say a few things, guys. I said before that he's trying to help us get to Poppy Playtime. It seems like here he's trying to kill us, and he can actually capture us and kill us, but we're resurrected every time. So I think this is why Poppy didn't mind if Huggy, you know, did attack us. She knew that we would just be brought back and still have another chance to get to her. But with that said, let's meet Huggy Wuggy. Ooh, now that was one of the best jump scares of any game I think I've ever played. I really wasn't expecting him to come out like that. What I'm going to do, guys, is let him actually kill us a few times, and we're going to get some of those end messages. We also can get a good look at his character model in the process. So I think there's like 9 or 10 messages you can get. So this says experiment 1006, that's Huggy Wuggy. Isn't he wonderful? So that message, I think, is from either the scientist we hear from later or from Poppy Playtime herself. I think it's from Poppy Playtime. I think she's communicating with us just like she can with Huggy Wuggy and the rest of the creations. Because I actually think, and I will mention this now, I covered this in my theory video, I think with an experiment ourselves, we've returned to this toy factory after many, many years, and we're actually tied to Poppy Playtime. We're basically some kind of experiment too, and that's how we're able to resurrect. So let's die again to Huggy, get our second message. It's not your time. Get up. So there we go. It's not your time, get up. That's another resurrection. We've got to be an experiment, haven't we? We're able to resurrect. And that also means if we're able to resurrect, of course, then Huggy Wuggy is also going to be able to resurrect as well. So when he falls down, that's not the end of him. He's going to come back, potentially in Chapter 2, Chapter 3, something like that. Let's see what the next one says. More lives are at risk than just yours. Get up. So there you go. That's maybe referencing the other toy experiments like Huggy Wuggy, even Poppy Playtime, or maybe it's just referencing the other workers. Like, you know, we don't know for sure if the workers are trapped in these different characters. At the moment, we're just making assumptions, but either way, we know lives are at risk, and it's probably those disappeared workers. The next message, let's see what it says. It's too early to die. I think we might have seen this one, I can't remember. Get up. I'm gonna basically go inside the vents now, guys. We'll get a few more of those messages as we explore the vents. Just to mix it up a bit, I want to show you some good shots of Huggy as we explore the vents. We see him coming down now. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. I think this is like one of the best chase sequences in any game. We see him coming up there, and then we have all these signs here saying like, danger, don't go this way. Someone is telling us not to basically go down this path, but we have to because we've got Huggy Wuggy chasing us. As you can see, he looks really freaky. And you'll see all these signs basically as we keep going down. I couldn't see what that said, but somebody is trying to say don't go and meet Poppy Playtime because bad stuff could happen. This has been Poppy's plan the entire time to try and get us to meet with her for her like dark plans to try and maybe take revenge on the creators. But, you know, we don't have any other choice. We can't keep getting killed by Huggy Wuggy. We have to go this way. We've basically been brought into a trap here. And you know, the only way now is forward. We don't have any other option. And this was Poppy's plan the entire time. She's basically using Huggy to chase us into her lair. And we don't really have any other option. It says turn back, see? We're trapped now. Oh, we gotta go. Leave here to die. Stop. Turn back, danger, danger, danger. It's so creepy. So creepy, so creepy. Okay, we survived. I think the game kind of glitched out then. Now we have to grab this box and bring it down. So here we go. Like that. And Huggy Wuggy falls down. You can see he actually leaves blood behind on the pipes, which again confirms that he has a human body inside, or at least some kind of anatomy inside him because for his blood. And now we've reached Poppy's lair. So you see we were chased to Poppy's lair by Huggy Wuggy. The whole time this has been a setup by Poppy to get us to her location. She invited us here with the message. She's been leading us here the whole time. Huggy has basically been giving us stuff like the key to lead us here. He's been chasing us all the way down these vents and into her lair. And now we're stuck. We can't go back, at least not in this chapter. So we have no option but to release her from her cage. You can also see this is a giant area, like it really goes down far. And I don't know if in maybe future chapters we'll be exploring the lower levels of this area. I hope so. It all connects up though. And it really reminds me of the game Portal, if any of you guys have played that. Like behind the labs in Portal, it looks literally just like this. Anyway, we get our final tape now. It's not labeled, and this is going to be from one of the scientists, I think the lead scientist, who is engineering all these dark experiments. And you can hear the other workers outside on this tape basically trapped, as what we believe is Huggy Wuggy, experiment 1006, is basically tearing through them and attacking them. So here we go.
Final log. In relation, experiment 1006, the prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for. That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice. Any future experiments will need to be contained and disposed of in a secure location. I'm not worried about myself. One breakthrough and I'll be back. We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not. End of...
And it cuts out. I do want to mention one other possibility for that tape. The scientist mentions how experiment 1006 was unaccounted for, he went missing. Now this could be because Huggy Wuggy broke out and escaped, and that's why he's running rampant in the facility now, he started killing people. But the other option, of course, because we assume we're an experiment, is that we could be experiment 1006. We went unaccounted for, and the reason we are dangerous is because they knew that Poppy could communicate with us. So that's potentially a really big twist. I don't know if it's the direction the game developers are going with the story, but it would certainly be interesting if we turn out to be the rogue experiment 1006 who escaped the facility and is now being called back like 10 years later after that giant outbreak occurred. This whole time perhaps we are that experiment they're talking about. I don't know. It's just another possibility. But now we've got to the door and we've got all these signs basically saying do not go in, because they know that Poppy is at the moment contained behind a case. Once she's freed, she's an all-powerful entity out on the loose. I think the case in this dollhouse basically seals away her power. It like cuts off her power and she's able to communicate with the other entities, as she has been doing with like Huggy Wuggy and stuff. But once she's released, she can basically wreak havoc on the facility and escape out into the real world even. It seems to be kind of like one of those SCP facility type rooms where Poppy is kind of kept in a simulation of an actual house, kind of to keep her at peace. And here she is. Now once again, I don't know if this is the soul of Stella trapped inside this, or just one of the orphan kids who's gone sort of like vengeful and become angry that she's been trapped inside this doll body. But if we are an experiment ourselves, she is communicating with us, she's called us back here, and this is why we free her now. So we're gonna free her, guys, we're gonna end off this video, and we'll have to see what happens in Chapter 2.
You opened my case.
And there we go, guys, that is Chapter 1 of Poppy Playtime played through once again, with all my theories included there. Some of these theories may well come true, others are just me spitballing ideas around, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video and it will tide you over with the wait until Chapter 2. Now, I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for Chapter 2 of this game. I imagine maybe a couple of months, maybe like 3 or 4 months until Chapter 2 comes out. I remember with previous episodic games like Bendy and the Ink Machine, it was usually 3 to 4 months between chapters, and they've got a fairly big team on this, so I do think that it could be kind of like just a couple of months till the next chapter drops. But I'm very excited to see where the story goes next. I think they've got off to a really strong start with this, and yeah, very, very excited to find out more about it. So hopefully you'll join me for Chapter 2. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you all on the next one.